What would you do if the people you loved most turned their backs on you at the moment you needed them? I stood outside the gilded gates of the Rosewood Manor, the hum of celebrations spilling into the cool evening air. My brother Ethan's wedding was in full swing, laughter, clinking glasses, and music drifting like a taunting melody. I clutched the invitation, its edges worn from my anxious grip, and stared at the security guard barring my way. "Sorry, sir," he said, his voice flat. "Your name's not on the list." Not on the list. The word stung like a slap. Ethan, my only family, hadn't just forgotten to include me, had deliberately left me out. We'd grown up sharing everything. Secrets whispered under blankets, dreams of escaping our small-town life, the pain of losing our parents too young. But somewhere along the way, his ambition had outgrown me. He'd climbed the corporate ladder, traded our modest roots for a world of wealth and status, and now, apparently, I was no longer good enough. I tugged at my suit, a second-hand find that didn't quite fit, and felt the weight of every judgmental glance from the guests streaming past. They were all polished, dripping in designer labels, their lives untouched by the struggles I carried. I'd spent weeks scraping together money for this trip, believing Ethan wanted me here. The invitation had arrived months ago, his handwriting promising a reunion. But now, standing in the gravel lot, I realized it was a cruel mistake, or worse, a test I'd failed before I even arrived. "Why?" I asked the guard, my voice cracking. He shrugged, eyes already scanning the next car pulling up. I stepped back, the ache in my chest spreading. I could have turned away, let the rejection swallow me. But something kept me rooted there, a stubborn spark of pride, or maybe just the need to understand why my own brother would cast me aside. Then I heard a low purr of an engine, smooth and commanding. A black Rolls-Royce glided to a stop beside me, its sleek lines catching the glow of the manor's lanterns. The door opened, and out stepped Marcus, my old college roommate, now a billionaire tech mogul who'd never forgotten the friend who'd helped him through late-night study sessions and heartbreak. He adjusted his cufflinks, his tailored tuxedo sharp enough to cut through the tension, and flashed me a grin. "Ready to crash a party, Sam?" I blinked, caught off guard. "Marcus, what are you doing here?" He clapped a hand on my shoulder. "You sounded off when you called last week. Figured you might need backup." His eyes flicked to the guard, who was now standing straighter, clearly recognizing the man whose face graced Forbes covers. Marcus didn't need an invitation. His presence was its own currency. "Let's try this again," Marcus said, striding toward the gate. The guard fumbled with his clipboard, suddenly eager to please. "Mr. Langston, of course, right this way." He glanced at me, uncertain, but Marcus waved him off. "He's with me." Inside, the ballroom was a vision of opulent chandeliers glittering, tables laden with flowers and crystal. Ethan stood at the center, laughing with his bride, a woman I'd never met. His eyes met mine across the room, and for a moment, I saw the boy I'd grown up with. Then his face hardened, and he turned away, whispering to a man in a suit who looked like he belonged on a boardroom throne. Marcus leaned in, his voice low. "You don't need their approval, Sam. You never did." I wanted to believe him, but the hurt ran deep. I approached Ethan, my heart pounding. "Why wasn't I on the list?" I asked, my voice steady despite the tremor inside. He sighed, avoiding my gaze. "Sam, this is my new life. You don't fit here." The words cut deeper than I'd expected, but they also lit a fire. I don't fit because I'm not rich. Because I'm still the same guy who shared his last dollar with you. Ethan's bride touched his arm, whispering something, and he shook his head. "It's not about money. It's about moving forward." Moving forward. As if I were an anchor dragging him back. I could have lashed out, let years of resentment spill over, but Marcus's words echoed in my mind. I didn't need their approval. I had my own worth, carved from years of hard work and loyalty to the people who mattered. I turned to leave, but Marcus caught my arm. "One last thing," he said, pulling out his phone. He made a call, and within minutes, a murmur rippled through the crowd. Heads turned as a group of local reporters entered, cameras flashing. Marcus, ever the strategist, had tipped them off about a charity announcement. Standing on a makeshift stage, Marcus took the mic. "Tonight, I'm launching a foundation to support overlooked communities like the one my friend Sam comes from. He's reminded me what true loyalty means, and this is for him." The room erupted in applause, and for the first time, I saw Ethan's composure crack. He looked at me, not with anger, but with something like regret. I didn't need his apology, though. I had Marcus, who'd shown up when it mattered most, and I had myself a man who'd never let rejection define him. As we left the manor, the night air felt lighter. You didn't have to do that, I told Marcus. He shrugged, that familiar grin returning. What are friends for? I realized then that family isn't always blood. It's the people who stand by you when the gates are locked, who remind you of your worth when others try to strip it away. Ethan's wedding was his moment, but this was mine.